Welcome back to Diane Yoga. I want to take a few moments and talk about fascia. Fascia is the network, the glue, the basis of support for our anatomical structure. It encompasses the muscles, which are all attached together in a network of this fascia, which can take its own shape based upon where the muscles are, based upon in their pattern of use, overuse and repetitive use. It can change the shape of our fascia, which then changes the shape of the muscle, which then can change the direction of the bone and cause us great discomfort. So part of the freedom that we find in the yoga world is not just in the asana and the stretching and the strengthening, but in the release or the networking of tools to help soften that fascia and allow these new patterns we're trying to show our bodies and be in a more upright, comfortable position. We can incorporate a couple of things. We have the wonderful roller I can't say enough about. I'll show you a couple of ways how to use that to release some key areas in your hips and buttocks and low back. We can even have your little dollar store ball. It's a little hard, or a tennis ball, and even a golf ball. So what we want to do when we approach the area of sensitivity, the muscle that's tight, that's holding on, almost like self-massage. We don't want to fire our way right into that tight spot, that place that brings on the sensation of fight or flight. We want to back off. We want to navigate around the area. We're playing with the fabric of the fascia here, not so much muscle release, but fascia release to allow the muscle to not go into fight or flight. That's when the tightening happens, and tightening happens, and the tightening happens. You want to release and approach that place of tightness only. And it requires quite a bit of effort in terms of concentration and awareness and your breath. So for example, taking a golf ball, on the sole of your foot or the palm of your hand, and pressing it into the floor or even a wall, and finding a place where you feel tightness, probably in this thumb pad, and you don't sit on top of that and really send it into more fight or flight spasm. You walk around the edges. And more often than not, I see people rolling around like this. We want to go slow. We want to tame that fascia. It didn't happen that way overnight. The tightness, wherever we're working on, is not going to release overnight. But a few times a week, attending to your fascia with some release, some self-massage, if you will, is key. So golf ball, tennis ball, dollar store ball, and just a little acupressure. Not getting on that trigger point, as I have mentioned, that sends you back into spasm. The relaxation response is what you want as we move slowly, concentrating on the breath. It's requiring, again, that inner stillness that we try to find in our yoga experience. Not so prevalent in the world, though, is it? So as we move to the subject at hand, the roller. Walmart, $15 perhaps. It's a great tool. Make sure you find one that's pretty solid, not too soft. There's ones that have bumps on them and all kinds of things, but this is your basic foam roller. There's a lot of different lengths. The short ones, not so much. The long ones, well, not totally necessary, but this size is perfect. I think it's 24 inches. Might be 18. One of those two are perfect. So when we approach our fascial release, we want to put that roller down and think about the muscles in the legs, quads, hip flexors, and buttocks, and to release perhaps the IT band, because these imbalances, as well as the psoas, create instability in the knees and the hips and even the feet. It's just a cascading event of fascia relating to each other. So taking that roller, we want to kind of bring our hip up onto it and roll into the side. Now this requires some good stacking of these joints. You don't want to be way out here rolling on it. That's a lot of pressure on your wrist. You want to keep the joints stacked. It does require some core strength, so you always have that core active. And you're pressing that place. Perhaps you cross your foot over or behind, and you just feel, maybe you have a block here or something to keep you tall. You feel that place where you notice a lump or area of tension, we'll call it. And we breathe. So you inhale, and then when you exhale, you just kind of bring your hip a little bit further towards where you find that place again where you pause and you breathe. It requires patience here. Exhale, and then come down to maybe, oh, there's a new spot. So taking your time, making sure we're not rolling out the dough. We're just simply rolling the fascia, making sure we don't roll onto anything that is bone. You want to keep it muscular, and you'll know it, you'll feel it. And it's a place of surrender that's a little bit of tension and a little bit of release at the same time. So keeping those joints stacked, getting the whole outside edge of that leg. You can even bring yourself down your elbow, rolling up and down. And then to flip over for the front part of the thigh, after we've worked out a couple of knots here, you can just roll over onto the front part of the thigh, bringing that front thigh, using the knee here to support you. And just rolling out any tension and lumps. Take the time to just visit this place fairly often, because you will be surprised where you have knots of tension that pull on the fascia and the ligaments and the bones. Here's a great one for your gluteus medius and maximus. Kind of just rolling with the cross leg onto that lovely, like little knots of berries in there that are just tension spots from whatever repetitive use you may be doing. So just roll nice and slow and soft. Take your time and use your core. People will say rolling hurts. But if you roll away from that area that hurts and you find the freedom and the breath and the awareness right around that area that hurts, sooner or later you'll roll over that area and it won't hurt anymore because you've released it. So coming off that roller, you can take a minute to notice the distance, the difference between the two sides. One side is free, almost light, and the other side is kind of asking for a little bit of help as well. So I'll do the other side. Make sure you do both sides, but I want to cover one more thing. We did the outside, the front, and the gluteus, maximus and medius. Now, it's a hard place to find on the roller the psoas. You want to take that roller and come to the edge of it. So it's right between the legs. And as you roll down on top of it, we externally rotate our leg. And just holding ourselves up, find that place where you can roll and breathe on that psoas. And where that is, remember, psoas is a muscle that attaches from the top of the femur up underneath through to the spine. It sits right here. It's about as big as your wrist, all the way through, and it keeps us folded in half. It involves our diaphragm. It's influenced by the diaphragm, or I should say the diaphragm is influenced by the psoas. So as I was saying, it's all connected. So find the time, find the freedom with myofascial release. Just begin a little at a time. 4 minutes a day. You'll be amazed. You want to listen to your body whisper before you hear it scream. The highest in me honors the highest in you. Namaste.